Hello, this is Jason Levitt with Moon Temple Dreaming. We're now going to cover dream interpretation, which I call dream reading. Now, the first thing I want to demythify is what dream interpretation is. Only the dreamer knows what they're dreaming and what it's about. So whenever you're asking someone about their dreams, or whenever you're looking at your own dreams, recognize your gut is going to be the first thing and the only thing that has the final word. So as we interpret people's dreams, the idea is to ask questions and to let those answers guide where the rest of the interpretation goes. Sometimes I'll offer something strongly because I get hits, I get downloads for it. But as you practice it, keep tuning into what the dreamer is telling you, and if you feel something, ask them as opposed to tell them this is what's there. Ask them what's there, because they'll guide you, because sometimes we'll be diametrically off in the wrong direction, and that will inspire them, like, oh, well, no, it's not that, it's this over here. So we follow their lead. The essence of reading a dream. The easiest way, the first thing to do is establish a sense of sacred space, confidentiality. So whenever you're telling someone your dream or someone's telling you their dream, it's really important to honor and respect their privacy and the confidentiality of the material. Because in the process of working with dreams, everything comes through and it's never what we're expecting. Because of that, so that the person can be comfortable and safe telling you what's going on, it's really important to honor and respect their privacy. So that means not talking about their dream with other people unless they've said it's okay. This is a very delicate realm, and it's very powerful when you go quick, very deep. It's usually surprising what comes up. So, yeah. So the process of dream reading itself. We begin with the dreamer telling their dream, and we write down as much of it as we can. If you need to slow them down a little bit to write it down, do that. If you're just listening, no worries. You want to watch for micro and macrocosmic stories. The macrocosmic story involves if you're in a car and you're running from something or driving away from something, there's a chase dynamic going on, or there's a travel macrocosmic archetype going on. If there's a female figure and there's a sense of it being your mom, or if your dad's in there, there's a parental dynamic going on. So this is the large picture. What time of day is it? Inside or outside? Okay. Each of the details that you go through, you want to track the emotional content behind each part of the scene. So if someone is running around a corner or going through their old high school, or your current high school, you want to notice which scenes you have the most emotion in and how do you feel. If you notice people in the dream, are these people that you recognize? Is it one person? If it's one person, there's a focus on that person or a quality of that person. Typically, if there's a person in a dream that you know who's only there briefly, oftentimes we'll manifest the emotion or the characteristic or quality of that particular person so that we can have that emotion. We use it to elicit that emotion within ourselves. And you can tell if that's the case, because if that scene will vanish, that person will be gone, it'll be a completely different scene. If it's actually about that person in part, then that person will probably stick around, or there'll be a much stronger emotion associated with it. Each piece of the dream, you want to notice it, and you want to feel it, and you want to take a little step back. Another example, if you've got a big group of people, you have a dynamic with groups. Do you know them, or is it kind of a vague collection of people? Fears, we'll get into nightmares in another clip. So the macrocosmic would be, I'm in a huge crowd, and I'm feeling kind of lost. The microcosmic would be, what time of day is it? Was there one or two people specifically in the crowd that caught your attention? What was happening while you were in the crowd? Was there someone talking? Was there something going on? Was everyone just milling around? What were you doing? You want to play with both so you can get the small picture and the large picture. That way you can do the interpretation and understand what's going on, and we'll do a sample in the next clip again. The rest of the process. What questions do you have about how to interpret a dream? The first thing I always say is a dream is about multiple things. So when you first see it and you see what feels like an obvious message, hold that as this is one possibility. Now we're going to move into what's another possibility. So if you hold the dream kind of like any kind of object, a sphere, so you've seen it from one vantage point, and then you turn a little bit and say, okay, so what's it mean from this side? If there's a person in the dream and I have a certain emotion about them, what if I'm the wall and I'm watching both people? What if I'm that person? I'm watching it from that angle. What would it be telling me from that side? Every dream you can turn around. And the key is to, with your awareness, to know and remember that there's more than one interpretation, there's more than one meaning to the dream. No matter how clear and obvious one piece is, it's not the whole picture. One of the best benefits of practicing this is that you learn to develop that skill in your waking life. You'll have an encounter and you'll have an interpretation or a judgment where you'll think you'll know what's going on. And from the dream practice, you'll pick up that habit of, well, maybe there's more going on here. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe there was another event that was influencing what was going on. It helps us to keep from judging or acting from thinking we know exactly what was going on. These kind of crossover benefits from the dreaming into the waking are consistent all the way through the dream work. We'll cover more of that. When you're listening to someone sharing their dreams, it's really important to be able to hold space. And that really means listening. It means listening without agenda, and it means not interrupting. The more you listen, you'll catch cues. You'll hear pieces that are the juice. They're like, ooh, that's a piece. There's a story under there. When you're listening to a dream, what has been working for me is to listen to the whole thing through once, and then go back scene by scene and listen to a piece. And as pieces come up, you can insert like, hey, I see something here. But throughout the process, you really want to be in a listening space. Your whole role is to take in the information, notice where the juice is, notice where something may be unresolved or where there's more power. And you want the person who's sharing their dream with you, you want this friend to feel safe, to feel heard, to know and feel and have that experience of, okay, I actually can really dive into this dreaming with this person. And the moment the person has that experience, their enthusiasm picks up and their excitement and their ability in that moment to actually remember more details comes up. And you as a listener are the trigger for them being able to do that. Thank you. Pause.